up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and my man,
Miguel Ramirez. So we started this podcast over so you could do that shit?
Yes.
Nice.
Well, hello.
That was a good good decision.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, babe?
I'm doing good. How you doing out there?
Welcome back to the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Another crazy week has gone by.
Yep.
So let's get started.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the tough stuff over with.
But we do have something good coming up. First, let's talk about what's happening with the coronavirus, the new facts, new stuff that's coming out. So in the world last week, we were at 509,000 cases of the coronavirus in the world. This week, we're at 1,051,635 cases in the world. Last week, we were at 23,000 deaths. This week, we're at 56,985. And the death rate is going up. It's at 5.4% now. In the U.S., last week, we were at 85,000 cases. This week, we're at 277,205. Last week, we were at 1,246 deaths. This week, we're at 6,593. The deaths have gone up a lot.
Okay, so
and we're at 2.3% death rate in the U.S.
So everything that you just heard is probably like a blast in your face. Like, you know, people are just kind of they're over it. They're just filled with fear, and
overfilled.
2.3%, you guys. 2.3%. Okay, so
there was when this thing first came out, they were talking about how covering your face doesn't really do too much. Right. And I think we talked about it on here because that's what they were saying. But since then, recently, the CDC has came out and said, wear something. They suggest that everybody wear something when you leave the house. If you leave the house, cover your face. So the one thing that they did say is do not try to go out and purchase like the respirators or N95 masks or whatever. Like the medical equipment, leave that for the people that need it.
Right.
But for the rest of us, we're good with just having something to cover our face.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I've been getting shit from some people. I haven't shared it with you, but.
Really?
Because, you know, like business is exploding right now. Like title companies have closed their doors. Like if you are refinancing, purchasing a home, they are sending mobile notaries to your home. And so, I mean, it's been a blessing, but it has been just nerve-wracking for me, you know, and we are out there frontline helping title companies and you guys, you know, with your loans. And so I have sanitizer in my purse, I have Lysol wipes, and I have a mask as well that was given to me. And I told you, like, I only wear it if I'm around someone elderly. But I think for now on, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to wear it because it will give me peace of mind and give others peace of mind and protect us.
Yeah. So there's another thing there that I read on the I think it was on the CDC's website. I'm pretty sure it is on the CDC's website. You guys can look it up. But there is a phone scam, of course, like as if shit wasn't bad enough. There's a phone scam that people are calling saying that they're from the CDC and that they're having a lot of trouble, obviously, with the coronavirus, and they're requesting or asking for donations.
Yeah.
So just so that you guys are aware, that's something that is out there that's happening. And one more thing, I just recently listened to a new Joe Rogan podcast, episode 1451 with Dr. Peter Hotez. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long, and what he does, he also studies infectious diseases and tropical diseases, and like his job is his entire career is related on this type of stuff. So they had some good conversation. If you guys want to go check it out, Joe Rogan podcast episode 1451.
All right,
So
good stuff. So unfortunately,
yes.
I mean, go ahead. I'll let you because.
Well, we've been looking for somebody that has been that has the coronavirus because we wanted to just kind of talk to them and see how they got it, where they think they got it,
just to give people peace of mind.
Well, just so that they understand what's happening and what it's like when you get it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I kind of had a feeling, or it was just a thought that I had. I was like, I hope that we can get somebody on the podcast, but obviously I hope it's not somebody that I know. And it didn't work out that way. So my cousin, and as everybody or most of you, if you guys are new to the podcast, welcome. As most of you know, I'm originally from New York. I have a lot of family still in New York. Right. And I found out earlier in the week that my younger cousin, got the coronavirus.
How old is she?
She's in her 20s. So we'll give her, you can go ahead and give her a call.
Do I have her number?
Yes, I texted it to you just now.
Right
before we started, I texted it to you. So yeah, she's my younger cousin, Lyssette. She's in New York City, in Queens. And no, you're fine.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she's in Queens. And we can let her explain the situation and her story. Lyssette, are you there? Is it ringing?
And we thought that, this would be a very good, just to bring some kind of peace of mind. So you understand like the protocol, what people go through with, having it. And so we asked her if she could come on. And so.
Lyssette, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Lyssette, welcome to the podcast. Anyway, that was kind of cheesy.
Yes, it was. I did not do that. Your cousin did.
I got control of the sounds over here. So, yeah, we were just explaining a little bit about, the situation. We said that, you're my cousin, and unfortunately, you had got the coronavirus. And we just wanted to ask you some questions and, see how you're doing. So
yeah, definitely.
Before a couple weeks ago or a week ago, we were trying to get somebody that had the coronavirus on the podcast. And we were kind of, asking like, do you know for sure that you got the coronavirus? Like, were you tested? Did you get a positive result? Mm-hmm. And I know we were talking to you earlier in the week, and it wasn't a definitive positive test from the hospital or whatever, but it's as positive as it's going to get, pretty much.
Right.
So I don't know if you can explain to us a little bit about how, the situation and, how you determined that you had the coronavirus.
Right. Yeah. So I know I'm in New York City, and in New York City there are not a lot of tests. A lot of the urgent cares have run out of tests for days or even weeks at this point. Doctors are not testing for it. A lot of doctors are actually turning their patients away and saying, like, go to CityMD if you think you have coronavirus, or call 311. So I knew that on Wednesday last week, I was supposed to go to my gym to pick up some equipment. They were lending out equipment. And I woke up on Wednesday morning and I was coughing, not a normal cough. Like, I felt like it was kind of deep and like throaty. I've always had like a history of just getting pretty bad coughs. So I just thought that it was a bad cough, especially because at that point I was quarantined at home for 5 or 6 days. So I was like, oh, it's not anything because it's just a cough. I thought it was postnasal drip or something. Yeah. And then as the day went on, I got more tired and, I started experiencing more of the symptoms. I got a fever. And so I started reaching out to a lot of my friends that are in the healthcare field, and they told me to not go to the emergency room, not go to the hospitals, because hospitals are just stretched so thin right now. They don't have, the manpower to test. And if you don't have it, you definitely get it. There was just a lot of uncertainty. So I did go to CityMD because I figured going to the hospital was just not a good idea, just because so many people are on ventilators and, there's trucks in New York City right now with people that are dead and stuff. I don't know. So I went to CityMD, and then the doctor that was there ran every test. So they did pneumonia scan. They did like a chest X-ray. They did a flu test. They swabbed me. They did a lot of those, I don't know, I guess just like other standard tests.
Right.
And they ruled everything else out.
Wow.
So they were like, you definitely don't have a cold. You definitely don't have the common flu. You definitely don't have, like bronchitis, things like that.
Right.
So then they were like, the only thing that it could be is COVID. And I had all the symptoms at that point. I had a fever. I had a cough. I had chills. I had body aches. So they were like, this is like as 98% sure as you're going to get it. And since I was in contact with people that did test positive, they were like, you have it.
So you were in contact with someone who tested positive?
Yes. One of my coworkers tested positive. A few of like people in my school, like I had some kids that their parents or family members or whatever. It's coming out now.
So you work for a school in New York?
Yes.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
You said that you were quarantined for 5 days and then you started feeling some symptoms when you were going to go pick up stuff from the gym. The 5 days, was that just because New York City is kind of locked down and you guys and most people are kind of locking themselves in the house now? Or is it the school?
Yeah, so we our schools closed. I'm not sure what day exactly, but schools did close. And after schools closed, teachers went in for a few days within the week, just to like sort out what remote learning was going to look like, just so we kind of like worked with our departments and worked with the teachers to kind of figure stuff out. So I was in like schools closed, let's say this week it closed. I was in 3 of those days with some of the staff members. Not all of the staff members went. Some of them decided to self-quarantine at that point already.
Wow.
The last day that we were in school was Thursday, and I started to exhibit symptoms that following Wednesday. So 6 days later. Okay.
Wow. So.
Yeah.
And that was, you said that was Wednesday. That wasn't this past Wednesday. So it was like 10 days ago, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like on day like 12, 13 at this point.
Well, I can tell you that I talked to you, a few days ago. It was like Wednesday or Thursday. And you sound a lot better today than you did when I talked to you a few days ago.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot better. I think there was for me personally, there were 2, maybe 3 days where I was really, really, really sick. And then after that second or third day, I just like progressively got better each day a little bit.
Yeah, I heard you tell Miguel that you felt like you were going to die at one point.
Yeah, I did. I did start planning my will.
Was it
28?
Was it because 28? That's what I was going to ask you. How old are you? 28. Okay.
Yeah.
And so during that time where you felt like, you were going to die, I mean, were you going through this alone? Because I know a lot of times that, that's what is needed. So were you going through this alone?
No. I mean, no, a lot of it is, like a communal effort as much as it can be. So a guy I'm seeing is staying with me because his parents have very fragile, I guess, health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like his parents are just older, and
so he was there.
I don't know, just so he was like, I'm going to stay with you, and I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So he's been staying here, and then once I was pretty much confirmed, I was like, yeah, no, you can't go home. like
so
before that,
did
he was going home for stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Okay. So how is he feeling? I mean, he's
sick now.
Okay.
To some extent, it seems like he's sick now. But I think I had the worst of it with fever and things like that. But like I was saying before, like I had my godmother dropping off groceries. I had friends dropping off like food or vitamins.
That's awesome.
Ordering things to my house. So like I was like, people were not coming into contact with me, but they would like ring the doorbell and like run away, and like from the end of the hallway they'd be like, hey, bye.
Right.
Yeah.
So at that point when you felt like
alone.
you were gonna die, is it just because of shortness of breath? Because I hear a lot of people are just stating like they couldn't catch their breath, like they couldn't breathe.
The thing that hurt me the most, I know that a lot of people say the coughing and shortness of breath is worse for them. For me, the worst of it was the fever and body aches. So I would my fever went up to 102 almost. It was like 101 point something, 8 maybe. And and I was taking Tylenol, but my body was still hurting. I would wake up in the middle of the night sweating, and if I would wake up in the middle of the night, it was because I was so uncomfortable because my muscles were so stiff and so tense.
Wow.
Weird things hurt, like my knees hurt and my jaw. So it's my shoulders also, but like the shoulders where like the muscle is,
right,
not the joint. It was just weird
so crazy.
Parts of my body.
Just like weird aches that.
And then
have you felt that before?
No.
Okay, so it's not like working out. It's like ache. Like you can feel it, like it's aching from being sick.
Did you lose your taste? Or
yes, I still don't have my taste.
You still really?
Yeah, no. I'm on day 13 and I still don't have my taste or my sense of smell. And
now,
my nostrils feel like there's like a weird, like an icy hot feeling in the airways, which I've heard from other people that are also confirmed that have experienced that.
So share with us that, because I can't imagine being able to not smell or taste. Have you lost some weight?
You know what?
No,
I don't
because
feel like
I'm like,
eating.
now I can eat all the healthy food.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's awesome. Because now I can eat the
My
healthy.
friend brought me Cinnabons, and I refuse to eat them until I can taste them.
You know what? You might as well bring the kale and all.
Right?
Right.
Wow.
No.
So one thing.
No, I can't taste. I have not been able to taste for.
So one thing you were saying was like at one point you felt like you were gonna die, and that is. I mean that's scary.
It is.
That
it's
is
very scary.
But what I wanted to ask you was, like at your sickest that you've ever been in your life, did this feel like that, or did you feel like you were? Was it like a mental thing also because you know what's happening out there?
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, do you think that maybe your mind ratcheted it up a little bit?
I think I definitely felt the sickest that I've ever felt. I've also never had the flu.
Okay.
So the guy I'm seeing had the flu in February, and his fever went up to 104. Like, and I was taking care of him last month.
That sucks. He just had the flu?
Yeah, and now he has COVID. In February.
Let's get him on the phone. And now we would like to introduce.
Right?
Wow, that sucks, man.
Yeah, no. So he had the flu, and I never experienced what he experienced. So I don't have much to compare it to. Like, I would say I've had really bad coughs, and I have had pneumonia on and off, like as a kid and things like that. Which is another reason why I was so scared, because even this winter I had pneumonia earlier in the year. So I know I just have bad lungs. When I was a kid, I had, mild asthma. So I don't know. I was nervous for that.
Okay.
So I do think that I was the sickest that I've ever been, but I do think a lot of what was also getting into my head is like the media hype.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
so,
would
like,
have
you see
totally
on social
shut
media
that off.
all the people, and like, there's like young people that are like, it can happen to you too. I'm 22 and I'm on a ventilator, and you're like, oh.
See, we haven't heard a lot of that though.
Well,
like we haven't seen a lot of that.
No, it's starting to come out too.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep. Like they were talking about like in China, I was listening. I don't know if it was the Joe Rogan podcast that I listened to, but they were talking about how in China it was older people, or at least that's what they're reporting. And that's another thing, is that China, the numbers that are coming out of China, they're saying like, we don't know if we can trust those numbers or not.
Right.
Right.
But then they were saying that Italy, it's kind of hard to tell, because they're saying like Italy and Spain, like there's younger people, but then smoking is another thing that over there is not frowned upon really.
Right.
So that also doesn't help when you have a respiratory illness, so.
What advice can you give to our listeners on maybe protecting themselves, or what to do if they get it? What advice would you like to give?
I think it definitely would depend on the demographic.
Let's talk to the millennials, because I know a lot of the millennials. Yeah, I know a lot of the millennials feel that they
got their tank
invincible.
tops on, they're vaping, they're chilling.
They're like, what's up? It's not going to kill me. Like, I'm going to go party and do my thing.
I could see him with the striped tank top on with the vape. I was like, it's not happening here.
Yeah. I know that I read an article that says that not millennials necessarily, but like people that are vaping are more susceptible to getting it. Mm-hmm. But I would say, the thing that helped me the most, or really the only thing that I did, because in urgent care they told me that I was not going to get medicine for it because there's not a lot of medicine, and they're trying to save that for people that are like actually near death.
Right.
So I didn't get medicine. The only thing I got was Ventolin, which is an asthma pump, like an inhaler, to help with the shortness of breath, because I did have some shortness of breath. And Tylenol for the fever. Obviously, I'm sure people have seen the articles that say that don't take Advil.
Right.
So Tylenol is your friend.
Okay, so Advil is not your friend. Did you ask the doctor about that?
Yeah, the doctor said that Advil, it's limited research, but there seems to be research that shows that Advil exacerbates things and makes it worse. Like it actually will lead to complications. So they say that Tylenol is your friend. I forgot what the active ingredient is,
and you know what? Like that is something like we talked about on here last week or the week before. Like the World Health Organization said that they don't have any studies or anything that shows that ibuprofen makes things worse or compounds the effects. But if you can take Tylenol, like they're not saying anything about Tylenol, so just take Tylenol. I would say,
totally.
just to be safe.
Yeah,
Tylenol is your friend, like you said.
Right. Yes.
My friend works in a emergency room, and she was telling me, because I bought the Tylenol extra strength that is like 8 hours or something, and she said that it's better to take the 500 milligrams. It's 2 tablets, and they come in the little packets, and you take those more frequently. And she says that those are better just because of the way that you're spreading, I don't know, the intake, the coverage, I guess, into your body. Right.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
And I do agree. I do think that when I switched over and then when I switched back, I did notice that taking the 2 pills, although a lower dosage, since I was taking it more frequently, it helped with the fever and the body ache.
Gotcha.
But I do think that if you drink a lot of tea, just to answer your question from before, if you drink a lot of tea and eat a lot of those like vegetables that are supposed to boost your immune system and take a multivitamin, and that's what really helped me because I didn't have any medicine. So that was kind of like all I had. And at some, like I said, I had people dropping groceries off. So at some point I didn't even have groceries. Like I had frozen pizzas because I'm 28 and apparently a bachelor.
That's funny.
Hey, we got frozen pizzas too.
Right, but they're not ours.
I'm almost 10 years older.
They're for my children, not for our children.
What about the one you were eating 2 days ago and last night?
Hey,
right.
Exactly.
That wasn't frozen. We bought that at Costco.
All right, whatever.
Anyways, Lyssette, I think I interrupted you when I was asking you what was the one, advice or what's some advice that you can give to, the millennials. I didn't allow you to finish that.
Well, if they're a millennial like me, then they're surviving off ramen and like frozen nuggets. I don't know.
That's who took all the ramen noodles. There's just not a lot left in
supermarkets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's just not a lot in the supermarket. So there's the stuff that's left is like, I don't know, like frozen foods. So I have a lot of frozen foods and not a lot of like other stuff.
Right.
So at some point I was just like boiling water and squeezing a lemon and honey into it because your throat, since it's such a dry cough, your throat starts to feel like it's going to start bleeding. So that soothes it.
Man.
But
yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, how does New York look right now? I mean, I just, it's hard. Like I saw drone footage, like with the streets completely empty. Like there was like a couple cars on the street, and that's just kind of hard to believe for New York City.
It's
I mean,
sad,
the way I've always seen it.
It is really sad. There's a lot of things either on social media or, I don't know, just like pictures or whatever that, and a lot of what I keep seeing is a lot of pictures and videos of New York City, and then the captions. A lot of the reoccurring caption that I've seen is "the city that never sleeps is taking a nap," and that makes me really sad.
It is.
Yeah, because I don't know. I actually left today for the first time in 2 weeks because I've been self-quarantined since I was sick, and I went to the park because my birthday's tomorrow and I was tired of being inside.
Aww, happy early birthday!
Thanks. So I went out and I was in the park. Of course, 6 feet away from other people, and I'm not contagious anymore. But regardless, I went out, and when you pass like the bridge to go upstate or further out, you do see like all the lights are off, and it's something that I just noticed today. Like the lights in the there's a light for the bridge, and there's the half of the Empire State Building that's on, but there's not much else that's on.
Wow.
So
that's got to be crazy to see.
That would be reality in your face, because knowing that New York is always lit.
No matter what.
Always a party. There are always people walking the streets, kind of like Italy. Italy was like a party baby when we were there. I mean, people were partying. Oh my God, we would go out for dinner at 10
at
PM,
night, yeah.
And people were out
and it was
having
busy.
dinner and singing and laughing. And today the streets are empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is it is something to see. But there are still people that, are either over self-quarantining or I guess don't think that they're susceptible, or they think, I don't know, but there's still, it's definitely quieter and more empty, but it's not as desolate as you imagine when you hear the word quarantine.
Yeah.
So you're still kind of like, are all these people essential workers, or?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, how do you feel about that? Just knowing that you've had it and to see other people not taking it as serious. How does that make you feel?
I do not to get too personal, but I do know, like, my grandmother is 91. She's going to be 92 next month. And, she's staying with family, and they're still working because they're essential workers. It's not that they want to. They just have to go to work.
Right.
And I just got off the phone with them, and I was like, you guys should not work because grandma's not going to survive. And they were like, yeah, but we have to. And
that's tough.
Yeah.
So that's kind of really scary.
I think it's really, that is really hard.
Because that hits home, because that's Miguel's grandmother as well.
That's our grandmother.
Right.
Yes, that's our.
Right.
But at the same time, you have, like, I'm not gonna comment on their situation. I mean, they do what they want, but it's also it's so hard to.
It is.
Because
I'm out there working as well.
Exactly. Like, if I wasn't an essential worker, but I have a family to support,
right?
Like,
what do you do?
I don't know what to do. I don't know if like, okay, so we're just going to starve and we're going to lose our house and everything that we've worked for. Like, that's a tough decision.
That have lost their jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one of my close friends lost their job. Another one was furloughed. Like, I know a lot of people that are unemployed right now, and they're just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. My brother, George, he's not working. He hasn't been working for a while now. So, man, real quick, this isn't something that I really thought about, but what's going on with school? I mean, because you're a teacher, and a lot of us, like, we're parents, schools are shut down here in Arizona. So what is happening with school in New York?
We're, as of right now, it's kind of not a case by case. It's like we're waiting and seeing, I guess. I know the most recent update, we initially were told that we were going to go back to work April 20th. Right now there's a nationwide shutdown until the 30th. So it seems like our school shutdown will continue past the 20th, which is what we initially thought. And I know that most recently the mayor, de Blasio, said that we're going to work through Easter and Passover, and Governor Cuomo said that we're going to work through spring break. So I know that they're trying to keep teachers working as much as possible, kind of to keep kids busy and make sure that they're not
falling behind
out or
No,
from what the statement looks like, it's just kind of to encourage social distancing, because if you celebrate the holidays with family, or you don't have much to do, you might be inclined to go out.
Makes sense.
So
okay,
that's kind of what it seems like. It's more the reasoning, but I don't know. Last I heard, this is no school until April 20th. I assume it'll be at least until April 30th, just because nationwide it seems like there's going to be a shutdown. But I was actually just watching de Blasio say something on Twitter that was saying how he predicts that this is going to go into May even. So,
so they
really
haven't shut your schools down. They shut our schools down here. Like
their school year is a month longer too.
Oh,
so if they can come out of it,
June 28th.
Gotcha.
Like, I think part of it is because New York is going to go through the worst of it first before the like we might end up in a similar situation, but it's not going to happen for another couple months. Yeah. So they already know that our schools are going to get shut down, because if it happens in a couple months, that's when school's supposed to end.
So being quarantined, I mean, are your stores open? Like your grocery stores open?
Yeah, we have grocery stores open, laundry is open, laundromat.
Okay.
We have some restaurants, like you can do pickup or take out only.
Yeah.
They're doing delivery.
So it's very similar here.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, liquor stores are open.
Gotta have those open.
Things like Seamless and stuff. You tip your drivers well, but those things are open.
Wow.
Man.
Which is kind of the only thing that's been saving me, because I was not able to go get groceries. And then I did run out just because I don't know, I guess naively didn't think that I would, or I don't know, I just didn't plan ahead. So I was like, oh, I just need groceries until I can go out again. And then I just so happened when I was halfway through my groceries, I got really sick, and I was like, oh, now I can't replenish, so I'm just going to starve. But, Seamless and Grubhub and all those businesses are helping.
Well, it's so crazy what's happening today, and knowing that, where we are today, that you can just do Uber Eats and have somebody deliver to your door.
These options right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
we are so blessed to live in the world that we're living in today. Even with the coronavirus. Even with the coronavirus.
Yeah, no.
So we have a lot of things to be grateful for, even though we're going through a shitstorm right now because of the way,
Yeah, there's a silver lining in everything.
There is. And I will find the rainbow and the gold
you will.
At the end.
And I will find the turd that's in there somewhere. Anyway.
It does beat the Spanish flu in 1918, They couldn't get delivery service to their door.
Right?
Man.
And so, we really appreciate you taking the time to share with us your experience and your story. This is going to shed some light on, for those that, just are filled with fear, not knowing what's going to happen. And every situation is different, but we do appreciate you taking the time and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And hopefully it will give just some kind of peace of mind knowing that.
And happy birthday.
You survived. Yes. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I made it to 28.
Yeah.
And you're going to be 28. Okay. Because you're already claiming you're 28, but you're 27.
I am.
Yeah.
I would be 28 if it wasn't for the leap year. We'd be one day ahead.
Right.
So we love you. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yes,
we hope you get better quickly. And
thanks.
Yeah. Stay safe, man. Stay safe.
Okay. I hope everyone else stays safe also and healthy.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Lyssette.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Sure. Bye.
All right. Well, there you have it.
We did not mention. Oh man!
Now we're gonna think about all the questions that we need to ask.
Because her coworker.
Yeah.
But let's leave it on a happy note. Yeah. Let's leave it here. She's 28. She did have a little bit of asthma, but she kicked it. She fought it. She survived. She's
I don't
doing
think she
better.
had asthma. They gave her asthma medication.
Oh, okay.
And she is.
But she had a history of, ammonia,
pneumonia, like the cleaning products. I got a history of Windex. And not really. You have a history of Windex.
I love it.
No, but she, and for those of you out there, like, she's in shape. She does CrossFit. Like, she's a very active person.
Yes.
So that is something that I'm sure helped her out. Not like us right now. We're not active at all, and we're eating complete trash all the time.
Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you happy?
I'm very happy.
I'm fucking happy too.
Are you?
Even 10 pounds.
It is
10 pounds heavier. But no, no. I'm like not.
Yeah, no,
feeling
we need.
it.
We're gonna get to work.
Not.
We're gonna get to work.
That's it.
This is the end of the
next
party.
time you guys see us, no, because a month will not be, or next week
a month is not enough for the
That's
fucking.
not enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope that this really helps some of you out there. It's a tough time, but we have so many things to be grateful for, and I just feel that we are blessed regardless of what's happening. We are where we are supposed to be, and like I told Audrey, like I feel that everything happens for a reason. I don't know what the reason is for all of this, but this world is so powerful.
Yeah.
This world, the earth that we live in is absolutely amazing and powerful. And we were created just as powerful, and our bodies will do what it has to do. And unfortunately, some will live and some will not.
Really? That's where you're going with this?
It's just, baby.
Hold up.
It's the cycle of life. We need to watch The Lion King. Some of us are going to survive that. Well, most of us, okay, you guys, most of us are going to survive this.
Yeah.
We need to be smart. We need to be safe. We need to follow the instructions. Like
yes.
We need to be smart about things and not be so selfish. Meaning like, oh, I'm so bored today. I want to, go out and visit some friends and some family.
You got a punching bag over there or what?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to be smart about it and fight the thing that, like Audrey, I felt very bad today because she wanted to go play with her friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, baby, but you just can't. You just can't. And it's hard for me because here I am. I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm working, but there's no but. It's like showing them. It's sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sacrifice.
Well, yeah, but it's not like you're going out because you're going out to have a good time.
Right.
You're going out to work.
Right.
And like I said, it's so hard to judge people because you're not in their position. Actually, you know what? We got some stuff to talk about. Like my cousin said, schools are closed in New York. Schools are closed here. And how many times, we've talked about it here before, classes are too big. Classes are way too big. There's like 30 students in that class.
That's me. That sounds like
They don't teach the kids the shit that's important. They don't. They don't teach the kid personal finances. They don't teach them how to cook. They don't teach them how to use tools. They don't. No. There's too many kids. Well, guess what? We got 2 kids in our class right now.
And they're failing. No.
So, and guess what? They got 2 teachers.
Yes.
They got, so the classes don't get any freaking smaller than this.
Right.
And guess who gets to put together the curriculum?
We do.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the books that we want them to read is what they're going to read.
And they're reading. And they're learning.
And the stuff that we want them to learn, guess what?
Yes.
I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm going to take Joey outside and I'm going to open up my toolbox and I'm going to be like, look, these are sockets. I mean, he knows a lot of he knows a lot of them already. You've been
helping this kid since he was like 2 years old. Like, he can change your brakes.
He's 8 now. Well, not without some help. But no, he's very good.
Because he's not that strong yet.
But the thing is that, like I'm saying, now is the time where you can teach the kids what you've wanted to teach them.
Yes.
Not what the school has to teach them. I mean, the school teaches them a lot of great stuff.
Okay, so Gilbert School Districts, just so you guys know, they don't have like these like online they gave us a packet, and the packet's awesome. Joey's packet's awesome. It has math and reading. I'm all about math and reading. I'm telling you. What's a verb?
That's what I was.
That's what you were thinking on,
dude. I'm just saying.
Miguel and I were a little tipsy the other day.
Yeah, so we're getting toe up.
We are freaking
quarantined in the house.
Kids are asleep, by the way, and it's just me and my baby, and we're talking, and dude,
and I start getting animated like I do sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what?
I don't know.
We're gonna teach these kids. We're gonna teach them what's important. I was like, look, math, all this other shit. I was like, you know what? Seriously, I don't know who's listening to the podcast, but you guys know it's fucking true. Out of everybody that I know, I've had the most technical job out of everybody that I'm talking about when it comes to numbers, measurements. Like I worked on helicopters.
Right.
So I would have to lay out rivet patterns. So the most that I've ever used in my life is adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing.
Measuring, you do a whole lot of measuring.
That's adding. Yes, I have to add measurements and subtract them.
Okay.
That's all I've ever done is adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So when it comes to school and math and all the other shit that they teach you, it's like I've never had to use this shit in my life. The one time I used geometry, which was like I'm not trying to show off or anything, but there's this thing, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I used that once in my life when I made Joey's loft bed and I wanted to add a slide and I wanted to find out how long, like how far out this slide is going to be. That's the one time. I never used it for work. I never used it for anything else. Like a lot of that shit is not important. Like we were talking about, go ahead with the freaking story, with the verbs and all the other bullshit.
It was funny. So we were feeling really good.
Yeah.
I love you. We have a great time. Anyways, and we were talking, Miguel's like, we're talking about school and, you know, what they're supposed to learn. And we get into English and Miguel's like, I don't even know, you know, what a verb is. I don't know what a verb is. I know what a noun is. And him and I, we start talking about it, and I'm like, well, I know what an adjective is.
Between the two of us, we could figure out what a lot of words mean.
Yeah, but it was two of our brains working together to figure out this crap.
I'm like, look, I know for some reason this thing stuck in my head. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Adjective, couldn't fucking tell you.
But
Verb,
I knew it.
No idea. So you knew verb, I knew noun, and in between the two
verb,
of us,
we came up,
And then we ask our 10-year-old, hey, what's an adjective? And she's like, oh.
She confirmed that we were right.
Hey, who gives a shit? Unless if you're going to be a writer, then learn it.
Yeah.
Learn it. Or guess what?
Pay somebody to do it.
That's another thing.
Yes.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I am not going to be a writer. Mm-mm. And if I do become a writer one day, or like if we write a book, this is the thing is that I know how to write a sentence. So who gives a fuck what a verb, an adjective, like as long as the sentence doesn't sound stupid.
Yes. Lisa Nichols. Okay. You got to look her up. She's a shit. Anyways, this poor woman, when she was growing up, she was a child, the teachers would talk down to her, you know, because she wanted to be a writer. She wanted to be a professional speaker. And they just told her, you might as well just forget it because you can't even write a sentence.
Yeah.
And she's like a multimillionaire today. And she's like, now what? Now what?
Yeah. I mean, when
she had a bit of dyslexia and she just like, all I had to do was pay somebody to do it. Just like right now, you know, our tax preparer individual, you know, he's very experienced. He was a tax attorney at one point, but he texts, you've been having problems with the taxes because it's getting more complicated. We're making more money.
Cut it out. All right.
We're having more problems. And he's like, hire a bookkeeper, you cheap asses. Because Miguel's been my bookkeeper. You've been my bookkeeper.
You need to cut the shit because you're going to be like on fucking 3 podcasts from now. You're going to be like, so Miguel's in prison and I got my new co-host.
You're stupid.
He's freaking 25.
He said we've been doing great.
He's jacked.
He says we've been doing great, but because we're, you know, like we've been doing pretty well lately. He said you broke motherfucker need a because not broke.
Anyway,
he said you cheap ass. You need to file. You know, you need to hire a bookkeeper. So, anyways, it is what it is.
Hey, you know what's not funny?
If you are not an expert or you need help, just hire somebody who's better. That's all I did. I hired my husband to do my QuickBooks, right? I'm a marketer, and I'm very good at it.
Yeah. So, you know what's not funny is allergies. Huh? Allergies are not fucking funny right now. Because
are you really having that hard of a time right now?
I'm just saying because a few days ago, earlier in the week, like I'm hanging out or I went to the backyard, I came back in, whatever. Anyway, all of a sudden I start getting like this scratch. It's just because of everything that's going on. Like I'm getting this scratchy feeling in my throat and like I sneeze a few times and I'm like, dude, I think I'm fucking dying. I was like, am I dying right now? I was like, oh shit. I got the Rona.
Dude.
The fucking Rona got me.
Your ass has been in the house like a little princess.
I know.
Princess.
That's why
my ass has been out there doing the freaking work, being around some people. I mean, usually 1 or 2 people, but I come back and I'm the same way. I'm like scrubbing my nails. I cut my nails.
I'm just saying,
like,
that's
I'm
why
just stripping, washing hands.
Stripping?
Yeah.
Anyway. Hold on. What?
Do it. Oh.
No, I'm telling you, fucking allergies are not funny. I was like, dude, I think I caught some shit in the backyard.
I loved sitting out there with you in the backyard.
You know what? This morning was really cool. Yeah. Like, we laid in the bed for a while with the kids, by ourselves, and then we went outside and sat on the lawn chairs and hang out with the kids.
Yes.
And then us by ourselves again.
And it was so beautiful.
It was like the first 2 hours of the day.
Yes. And we were listening to the birds chirp and watch the butterflies. And I was very, that was spiritual for me. It was just being able to sit there with you and share that moment with you. Bong. I'm on you already, dude. Or I'll be on you later, but yeah. Stupid.
Speaking of being on me later, there's going to be a baby boom here soon.
Well, it's not going to be here.
Well, not here.
I'd be in trouble.
Because when I bust one, it goes. That's what happens.
Is that a new one? What the hell was that? Do it again.
That's what happens when I go. No.
I'm cool with that. We were just talking today. Like, we love our kids. Our kids are freaking amazing.
But we don't want any more.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah, we're good.
We did so good. 2 dogs.
Dude.
2 kids.
I think, you know what? I need to look up when that appointment was, because it was immediately.
Snip, snip.
Immediately after we had the second kid.
See, most men have a problem with that. Do you want to know why? Do you want to? Because they're not comfortable with, their. I think it's their ego.
Dude,
we were teaching Joey about ego.
This is. Let me tell you something. This is all right. So, the best thing that you can do, get snipped. And then I was listening to this podcast yesterday with Dr. Drew Pinsky from Loveline or whatever.
I was gonna start singing.
So
Dr.
he
Drew.
he had prostate cancer, and they removed his prostate.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when he busts one, nothing happens. Nothing, because your prostate is what produces all the stuff. He doesn't
orgasm.
No. I'm guessing you still.
Oh, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I would totally die.
You'd be like, I'm almost there. Nothing.
Who gives a shit as long as you feel
that's
it?
What I'm saying.
I don't care.
Amazing. Like, zero cleanup.
Aw, sucky.
We just pull your pants up and walk right out the door. I'm like, let's go. Ooh. Let's go to the mall.
Hey, by the way, okay, so you would think we have more time, right? Not Miguel and I. We've been busting our asses. Nobody
wants to hear that shit.
Anyways, I'm just saying, I've been wanting a nooner, dude. We haven't had a time. Hadn't had a time.
Actually, look at that.
We haven't had time.
Look at my notes.
Nooner. Sonja asked how long it would take to bust one as fast as possible. Oh my God. We got to make sure our kids don't listen to this.
So what is it?
How am I going to have a spiritual podcast when we're talking about this stuff?
We talk about all kinds of... So how...
I know.
I think...
It's because of...
No, like for real.
For real?
For real. Let me try and... I could do it in under a minute.
Shut the hell... Dude, that's
okay, nuts. Wait.
I can bust one under a minute.
And by myself, because nobody knows me like I know me.
Okay, that's some shit right there.
You're about to get mad.
That's some shit right there. You know why? Because I asked you.
Dude, this hand is calibrated.
Shut the hell. Then calibrated. Okay. See, this is getting rated X, like totally rated X. because that's something I like. And when I ask you to do it.
All right. This is what we're getting into. Holy shit.
Exactly. So don't bring that up right now.
Whatever.
Okay.
But so how long would it take?
Oh my goodness.
As fast as possible. Like this is a fucking race.
With my Hitachi, 30 seconds.
Whatever.
If that. 30
seconds?
Maybe even less right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably even 10 seconds.
I can't compete with that shit.
You can't.
What the? How could you say that to me?
Well, babe, come on.
You know what? I'm getting my shit. I'm out of here.
Where are you going?
You're like, fine. As long as I got my fucking wand. I don't give a
Leave me my wand.
I'm taking it with me.
You bought it for me.
Yeah. 30 seconds? Holy
I don't know.
shit.
Man. Right now, for real, maybe less
you know
than
what?
30 seconds.
This is something we're going to do. We're fucking quarantined. We're going to do it for the next podcast.
Okay, and if he doesn't do it, I'm calling you out, and everybody's going to hear about it.
No, we'll do it.
For real?
For the next
promise?
For the next podcast. We'll time it. We're going to start it.
Promise.
All right. So look, this is what I just got an idea.
What?
So this is what we're going to do.
What?
You go in.
Okay.
And you tell me when to start. And I'll be outside. I'll be in the living room or whatever.
You know that's going to be torture for me though, right? That's like straight
I'm just saying,
up
you gotta,
torture.
So you say start and I'm going to fucking hit the timer. No, this is,
why?
Listen.
What?
We're all quarantined. We got kids and shit. All right. So listen.
They go to sleep.
You're going to be in the room by yourself.
Okay.
Do your thing. I'm going to be like, you're going to say, ready, set, go. I'm going to hit the timer. And then you're going to be like, stop. And then I'll hit the stop and then we'll time it. And then I'll do the same thing. We'll time it. And then we'll know.
We can't tell people that. That's so like in our,
bedroom?
Do people, okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I thought
we can't be talking about this until I'm like not working. I got to keep my professional image. You are like so jacking up my image right now.
We're going to.
Hey, but we're real,
if we
right?
keep this going.
Okay.
This is what we're going to be doing.
This is so bad. Holy shit. People that see me, and I work with, and they're listening to this, be like, hey, I know you don't.
You're going to be like 27 seconds, huh?
Hello?
Wow, that's impressive.
20 seconds. Give me 10.
Really? We freaking put that thing on high.
7. Come on now.
Anyway. All right, so now let's talk about something
now
serious about the coronavirus. So there was a story that I heard about.
Now we're going back to that?
I'm just kidding. Fuck no.
Babe, people are just so dumb.
Actually,
happy news. And I haven't even gotten
this is happy news.
Anything on my phone.
Pull it up. So real quick, while you're pulling, while you're pulling that up, what you have on your list.
We don't have time.
I really want to thank some of our new supporters. Last week, we talked about how we were close to getting to 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
And we've passed that.
Love you guys.
And I would like to give a shout out to Henry Flores, who's following the podcast. Who's your cousin?
Yes.
Rob from New York.
Rob.
He is one of my friends from the building. Same building that my cousin's in. Well, he's not there anymore, but he's a friend of mine from New York. C. Beck from YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. So welcome to the podcast. Manuela Almanza. So welcome. Thank you guys for following and joining the podcast family, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so I have some stuff, but I'm saving it for next week because right now we're doing good.
You know what? What's cool though? So what I've been doing is on my lunch break, I've been going outside, and it's really cool. It is really cool.
It is to spend that quality time with them and talk to them. And
so what I've been doing is on my lunch break, I go to the backyard, and it's nice back there. We have some trees, and you can always hear the birds chirping, and like I said, it's like a freaking Cinderella movie. It's like they're making dresses back there and shit. But what I've been doing is we sit down and we get a book. And I have Audrey will read a chapter first. Then Joey and I will alternate back and forth. And he reads a little because he has a little bit of more of a trouble reading. So I'll help him. He reads one page. I'll read another page. But he's been doing a lot better lately.
Yeah.
And then I read a chapter. But the really cool thing is that we've talked about it on this podcast before, these Jocko books. And I am telling you, for those of you guys that are out there, it has an element of jiu-jitsu and all this other stuff, but the lessons that they teach in these books,
priceless.
This should be required reading material in school. No bullshit. No bullshit.
They talk about bullying. They talk about
required
everything.
Reading material in school.
Yes, I agree. Let's open up a school.
Let's do it. It'll be just based off of Jocko's books. No, like this thing that we're listening to, there's...
Could be an entrepreneur, personal development on steroids.
It was crazy because the story that we were reading about earlier this week, there was a couple stories, but one of them was something that I went through in jiu-jitsu. And it was actually exactly the same. We've talked about it before, but in the book, there's this kid, the main character, Mark, and he goes to jiu-jitsu. He's been doing it for a while, and then there's this new kid that shows up, and he thinks he's going to kick the new kid's ass because he's new. Turns out the new kid's been doing it longer than him, and the new kid is really good at everything. And it's already rubbing Mark the wrong way, and this kid happens to be a really nice kid. So he gets Mark is sparring or fighting with this kid in the jiu-jitsu class, and he gets put into a position that he doesn't like, and instead of tapping out and giving up, or tapping out in jiu-jitsu, for those of you that don't know, he just goes, ow, and he yells something, and the kid gets off, and the kid thought that he hurt Mark, and he felt bad about it because he's a nice kid. He doesn't want to hurt him, but you're supposed to tap right before it hurts so that they can let you go.
Right.
And he's like, oh, no, I hurt my shoulder. And then his Uncle Jake, his Uncle Jake, who's a Navy SEAL, they're going to get in the car, and he throws him the keys, but he throws them up over his head so that he has to reach up and grab them. And he reaches up and grabs them, and he's like, I thought you said your shoulder was hurt.
Oh.
And he was like, no, and he kind of explained what happened. And his uncle, in the book, this kid is, I think he's maybe in 6th or 7th grade. So he's starting to learn what his ego is about. That's actually the point of this chapter, is him starting to learn that it's his ego that didn't want him to tap to the other kid. Dude,
I didn't learn that until I turned 40.
For real.
Isn't that crazy?
For real. And then, so it was really cool. And actually what happened was, the coach was asking him, like, hey, are you okay? And the other student was like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. And so he talked to his uncle, and the uncle told him, like, hey, you need to go and apologize to that student because he feels bad that he hurt you.
Right.
And he didn't. And you need to go apologize to your coach for lying because you lied about what happened.
Right.
And I told the kids, I was like, you know what? That happened exactly. That happened to me. And it wasn't so much, and I felt horrible immediately, but it was more because I felt like I had stolen from the guy that I was rolling with. Like he beat me.
Yeah.
And instead of me tapping, but it was different. In Mark, in the book, he was in a submission. For me, I was just freaking out because I was claustrophobic.
Right.
But it was the same thing when I was like, ugh, and
right.
I got him. I said something, and he got off. And then I said that I had gotten a cramp.
Yeah. I remember you shared this on one of the podcasts.
Yes, I did. Yes. It was exactly the same because the coach was right there.
Right.
And he's like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I just got a cramp.
Yeah. See, and it's a great lesson for Joey. Because you even asked Joey a question about the ego. I mean, you didn't even mention it. And you asked Joey, why is it that he feeling that way? Yes. And Joey said, his ego. His ego is
so Joey, he's 8 years old and he's learning what the ego is about. Dude, and how, like, you in the book, they're talking about how you can't have a really big ego because then you feel like everything should be given to you and you're the best of the best and then you don't need to work. But you also can't have a really small ego where you think that you're not good enough for anything.
Right.
That your ego has to be balanced. Yeah. And they talk about all of that in this book.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
It's
amazing. And then another part that was really big is that he's judging this kid because the kid doesn't want to come out and hang out with him and the rest of the guys.
Oh, yes.
And play. Mm-hmm. Because at first he invited him over to work. And he's like, hey, I'll pay you because I have a lawn mowing service. And he's like, no, I can't.
So Mark's trying to get this kid, to play with him, to hang out with him. Yes. And he keeps saying that, because, it's my brother.
So he doesn't like this kid.
His brother.
He doesn't like this kid. And his Uncle Jake tells him, you need to make friends with this kid. And he knows that his Uncle Jake is really smart. And he always kind of has a point. Even though he may not understand why, at the moment, he knows that his Uncle Jake is usually right about stuff. So he tells him, I want you to become friends with this kid. And he's like, okay. So he's got this lawn mowing service, and he tells his friends, like, hey, I want you to, he's like, I could use some extra help to the kid that he didn't like before. Mm-hmm. And he tells him, why don't you come help us out, and I'll pay you. It's not for free. And he's like, no, I'm busy. And he's like, who doesn't like money? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, how about instead of going to work, how about you come and we just hang out? You, me, and the other guys. We can just hang out together and have a good time. And he's like, no, I'm usually busy after jiu-jitsu, and I'm busy after school. And then he's like, at first when it was just about the work, he was like, maybe he's just lazy and he doesn't want to work.
Yeah, so he was judging this kid, not knowing
what the reason was that he didn't want to hang out with the other kid. It's not that he didn't want, but he said that he looked sad at certain, like he did want to hang out, but he wasn't.
Right.
So the kid invited him over to his house. The other boy
finds out he has a little brother.
And he finds out that he has a little brother who's disabled. And then he's like, if I don't go home and like if I go hang out with you guys, then my brother has nobody to play with because he doesn't have a lot of friends.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So it kind of teaches them about judging people.
Right.
I just don't. I don't understand how this could be a kid's book. Yeah. And it's not required to read this in school.
Right.
They make you read reports about dumb shit
that doesn't even matter. Like, just doesn't even matter. And our shit is so outdated. Like, our kids, they're teaching our kids what we were taught, like, way back in the day. Like, what the hell's up with that? Like, everything has changed. Everything has changed, but the books remain the same. The way they teach remains.
You remember a lesson that you learned from Shakespeare?
Shakespeare?
I remember some dude killed himself because of his girl, and then turns out that he wasn't dead, and then his girl killed herself because he killed himself.
Yeah.
I was like, is that what it was? Who fucking knows? But really, this is what they need to be reading.
No, for real. No. Yeah, totally.
Because I'm getting shit out of this book.
We're reading, we're like, oh shit, that was my ego.
So for those of you out there that want, I can't recommend these books enough.
Yeah.
The Way of the Warrior Kid. There's 3 of them. There's the first one, and then the second one is called Mark's Mission.
Yeah.
And then the third one is Where There's a Will.
And there's a book. So our kids are 7 and 10, but they have a book for 5-year-olds.
For 4 and 5-year-olds. It's called
yes.
Mikey and the Dragons.
Yes.
And they're all by Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you know what? Even if your kids aren't 4 and 5, that book is still good.
All I know is this. I just hope and pray that we're doing what's right. And I feel that we are. But like we're teaching them hard work, because there's times where they see me gone. Like they see that I'm working. They see that I'm up late working. They see you working nonstop, waking up early, doing the thing that you really don't want to do, but you got to do.
Yeah.
Knowing that there is sacrifice. There is sacrifice, but there's also, being able to, like I talked to Adriana, like, what makes you happy, baby? What brings joy into your heart? What makes you happy?
Yeah.
And knowing what makes them happy is so important, because that's what's going to drive them to make the right decision for their future. Because I started thinking, okay, I'm going to be an attorney, but it's not because I wanted to be an attorney. It's because I was broke as shit as a kid, and I was so scared of being broke as shit when I, became an adult that I'm like, okay, well, attorney makes a shitload of money, and so does being a doctor. But I really wanted to be a social worker. Like, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then I looked up what they made, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't live off of that. So I didn't build my career or my purpose based on my dream and what it is that I wanted to do or what I wanted to accomplish. I built it on what was going to pay me the most money. And I don't want that for our kids. I want them to follow their dreams. I want them to follow what's going to complete them. I watched, what was that movie last night?
Porky's?
Nope. Oh my God. That's okay. To be continued. Dude, we got to talk about that. No,
that was
Maverick.
Crazy.
Was it Maverick?
No. He's in it though. Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
You were watching that last night.
You had me at hello. You're supposed to say you complete me, ass.
I don't know.
No, not call me an ass, but say you complete me.
What? Ass?
Anyways, I want them to follow their hearts and their dreams and what makes them happy, not follow dollar signs. Unless that's what motivates them. It's just not what motivates me. So
no, they'll be all right. Yeah. But so babe, what do you hope to get out of this thing? Out of everything that I'm not talking about this, like the podcast, this.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about this coronavirus. Like everything that's happening. Like what do you hope we get out of this?
I want a deeper connection with the kids. Like even though I feel like we have that, I want to show them that we are fighters, like we are leaders. You know, because there's a lot of shit going on right now, but they see mommy still leaving. They see mommy coming back. Yeah. They see daddy and his hard work. We're showing them, we're talking to them, we're connecting to them. And I feel that just being able to be here for them and allowing them to see life for what it is.
What do you hope we get is there anything that you feel like comes out of this as a country or as a society?
I think that we need to stop all the bullshit. I think we were talking about this the other night.
Yeah.
I think we all need to come together, support each other, love each other. But that's me. Like, that's just me.
No,
that's
I feel
me.
exactly the same way.
That's what I feel that I'm made of. And that's what I want from everyone around me. It's like, put the bullshit aside, you know, stop the division, stop just this here should bring us all. We are all human. Yeah. We are all, we're all.
Like really, yeah, we were talking about this the other day, getting super crunk, corona crunk. You guys could probably hashtag that shit. Corona crunk.
That was good.
I
hashtag.
We drank.
This is a tweet moment, like Oprah would say. This is a tweet moment.
But yeah, what I was thinking is like, same thing. Like, I hope we stop the bullshit. Like, for real, the whole division, Republican, Democrat, fucking.
What does that matter?
Who gives a shit? Like, we got bigger things to worry about. School, like the school, we've learned. I don't know. We've seen things about schools and the business that schools are in, and with standardized testing and the textbooks and all this shit. Let's like cut the shit and let's focus on what's important. The shit that kids need to learn. Like, politicians, actually do your job and cut the crap. Yeah. Like, for real. Because I don't know, man. Like, who was it? There was a president. We've talked about it before. There was a president that said, like, if we were attacked by aliens or something like that, it would bring everybody together.
Right.
It would bring everybody together because now we have a threat that we're all facing, whether you're a Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're
Black,
from the
white,
United
Mexican,
States, you're Canadian, you're Mexican.
Matter.
We all need to come together and handle this situation.
Right.
And really, when it comes down to it, we're all people.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
And we want.
Truth is, you didn't do shit to earn where you were born. Yeah. You were just fortunate that you were born here.
That's right.
Born in Australia, born in wherever.
You know what we all want? We all have something in common. We all want peace and joy. Like, that's the foundation. That's it.
It's the governments that fuck it up.
You know what I'm saying? That's it, is peace and love. And in the Bible, it says that we are here to serve, to help, to make a difference, to make this place a better place. And we've been shitting on earth for a very long time. Do you know what I'm saying? That's another podcast. But we have been shitting on our earth for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, like, how many of us recycle? Shit, we just started, I think, recycling.
We're going to get into recycling
when we moved into this house. Like, But do you know what I'm saying? Like everything is here for a purpose. Without trees, we wouldn't be breathing. And I'm going to talk about this in the next podcast because we don't have enough time. But we're all here to do something. That's it. We're all here to do something, to give back.
Yes.
And regardless, this earth could wipe us the shit out. And you know what's going to continue to live?
The cockroaches. And then they'll turn into something else. And you know what's something that people can do? What? Something that everybody can do. Everybody that's listening to this podcast. I mean, I ask this sincerely. Something that everybody can do is go to oppositesattractpod.com and click on the support the show link. If you're going to buy anything through Amazon and you want to get it delivered in the next 3 months, click subscribe through our Amazon link at support the show. And it doesn't cost you any more, anything else extra. And it also helps out the show, and you'll get your products in 3 or 4 months whenever they decide to deliver it. No, you know what? Amazon is great because they're the ones that are they're delivering. They're still delivering.
Like
it may take a little longer.
Paving the way.
It takes a little longer, but they're still doing it.
We should have invested into some Amazon, man.
Anyway, if you guys are going to shop on Amazon, you can click through our link, oppositesattractpod.com. Click on the support the show tab. You can also see how to subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything at Opposite Pod, or you can just search Opposites Attract Podcast. And you can also go to trustincUSA.com. And
if you need any these mobile notary commercials
services, what is
we are a nationwide mobile notary service agency here to help you. We do a lot of work with title companies and law firms and individuals as well. So if you are in need of a notary, hit us up. We'll be there to help you. We are also independent associates with Legal Shield. And what Legal Shield does is it gives you access to your rights at the palm of your hand for a small monthly subscription.
So you can get consultation with attorneys, unlimited consultation,
estate
document
planning,
review, will
free.
preparation.
Yes.
They can help you with traffic tickets, even though everybody's locked in the house and they're not really driving.
No,
but
will now is
it might be something that you need. I mean, if you're having trouble with a company because I don't know, it's just a strange time. But
it is. It's a very
if you need any
time.
legal services, you can hit us up.
Hit us up. Yes. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Subscribe
Thank you guys for
and
listening.
share and all that good stuff. Keep spreading the love and the kindness. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.